So we will start with Snowflake. Before that, what is a data warehouse? Why Snowflake? A bit of background regarding Snowflake, and then we will import some CSV file in Snowflake, and then we will have S3 access in AWS. So, and then at the end, we will have a takeaway task. That means homework for you to complete. So, what is data warehouse? So, data warehouse is simply data collected from several sources and stored in various databases uh, cannot be directly visualized. Like, for example, if we have data, let's say in Oracle or in SQL Server or in Postgre or in MySQL. So we have data in several platforms, and we want to draw some insights and we want to draw some meaningful information after integrating all the data sources. So for that, we need a central place which is called data warehouse, where we do all sort of transformation and we pull all sort of data sources and store that information in data warehouse. That's one central place where we store all the integrated data. And then what we do is once we have our all data from Oracle or SQL Server or MongoDB, so after that, we store that in one central place, which is data warehouse. That's the central place is called data warehouse. And once we have our all data, then we plug into visualization tools like Power BI or Tableau to perform data visualization. So one scenario that I currently faced while working in the company was, so we had our data in SQL Server and MongoDB. So in SQL Server, we had orders, we had transactions, but we didn't had uh, the detailed information that is being generated from the application. So all the detailed information that is being generated from the application was stored in MongoDB, and all the order information like who have used that orders, who have used that transaction date, order date, that sort of information was in SQL Server. So my work was to integrate both SQL Server and Mongo. And after integrating that, we need to store somewhere in a data warehouse. So from there, we can do some sort of visualization after storing that the data. So some information was there in SQL Server, some information was there in MongoDB. So that's why we need a place where we can combine the data from Mongo as well as SQL and store in one central repository, which is data warehouse. And from there, we can plug in into other visualization tools like Power BI or Tableau. So that's the main reason of uh, of of creating a data warehouse. So so in that place, Snowflake is widely used uh, in terms of Snowflake is used as a data warehouse tool. So why Snowflake? Why do we require Snowflake? So it's really its performance and speed is very fast. Like we can easily scale up and scale down our cluster size. Clustering and all is very easy. UX is very easy. We even have a inbuilt dashboard we can create inside it Snowflake as well. So whatever the query, whatever the data we have, it's that data and that query that we do, that performance that we do, that amount and that pricing is only being charged by Snowflake. So that is also one of the benefit, and we don't need any database administrator to do some heavy tasks that a DBA does in SQL Server or MySQL and other platforms. And it's very easy. Data sharing process is also very easy. So let me show you a quick overview of what's there in Snowflake. So we have database here. So I have created one test database. Within that, so these two are by default. So this one test I have created right now. So we can create our database. Uh, the place that we can see all our databases here, and we have shares, we have data marts. I haven't pulled data from data marts, but it's a place where we have all our available data, where we can pull the available data from marketplace and can perform our analysis and all. So data marketplace is used that way. A data warehouse is we can create multiple warehouse, and from that we can add our role, permissions and all. We can easily, like I said, we can easily scale up and scale down. So right now my size is extra small because it's a free version. So we can increase the size as per our data. With our data increases, we can increase, we can configure that, and we can move to large or extra large, but it would require the additional charges and all. So likewise we have worksheet where we can see our all sort of all data warehouses, uh, databases and tables. The history denotes the all execution that we do. So I have executed this sort of these queries, and it took like a duration of time, second, how many times second it took cluster sizing, what was the size. So this sort of thing we can view. And here, like I said, we have here the role is here is what we can see the warehouse. So right now we have used compute underscore wh. This is by default. So the size is extra small, we can resize. So if we resize, the amount, the price will increase accordingly. We can choose which database we are in. So right now we are in test database. So schema, we can choose whether it's public or this information scoring schema is by default. So from here we can see, so we have warehouse, database, schema. So if we want to query something, some table, then we need to give first database name, then schema name, then table name. So these three things we need to consider. We need to give first, we need to give database name dot schema name dot table name. These are three things that we need to give, and then yeah, that's how it's stored there. And then we have here snow site. This is the visualization that we can do in by using snow site. We can create a dashboard. So if we can go in particular sheet, let's say if you want to see, if you want to run this table, it's inside test public, so I can run that table name which I have created. I will show you that how I did that. So if you run select asterisk from this data, so here, so table size is really high, and we can move to chart. From here we can add columns, like I can see the this is on the basis of user ID and visit date. I will get back to you what all this means, but at the end we can do visualization here, and we can add a dashboard. It's a static dashboard, it's not a dynamic dashboard. So at the end we can add a dashboard, and can create a dashboard in Snowflake as well. So there are huge things. There are lots of things that we can do in Snowflake. This is very basic, and just the starting point of what is Snowflake and what things are there in Snowflake.
Mhm.
Okay, so this is the basic overview of Snowflake. So I think now things are clear to you. So this one is your database name, and this one is your schema name, and then within that we have a table name. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So after that, uh, I would like you to store the file in S3. So why do we use S3? So it's a simple storage service which allows to store file in AWS cloud. So we store in the real world, as we know, we always store files in cloud. So the main aim of doing this is to make you familiarize with AWS platform and the S3 uses, because at the end, when you work in some industries, you will be going through some cloud platform like AWS or Azure. All information will be in the cloud, so it will not be in our local machine. So I want you to create your S3 bucket and store files that I have shared you in GitHub link there. So I will take you through that as well in today's class. And at the end, your our assignment would be to store new files in S3 bucket and read data from the S3 bucket to Snowflake. And finally, create a pipeline where we, if we try to import, if we try to push the similar files in S3 bucket, it automatically gets loaded in Snowflake table. So these things, I will go in depth regarding these three tasks that we need to do. So why we need to do these tasks? Because in S3, so as we understand, like S3 bucket is used to store our files. So we get, let's say, if we get file on a daily basis or on a weekly basis every time, so we will not be running our script every time to store weekly data or monthly data. For that, what we can do is we can create an automated script or pipeline where if we have a file in S3 or somewhere, then it automatically gets loaded in Snowflake, right?
Mhm.
So that's the need of creating a pipeline. Why do we create a pipeline? Just to make sure that whatever we have a file in S3 or somewhere, it automatically gets loaded in our database. That's the reason of creating a pipeline, right? So we will go through all these today. So I have sent you the file in this location. Could you download this file? You can download one file for now from this location,
Mhm.
one CSV file. So this one file I took randomly from an internet, and it contains this file contains the information of a news article. So what it contains is it contains user ID and article ID, which article a user is reading, and number of clicks that he did in the application, and time duration of at what time did he perform that clicks, what was his visit date, visit time, and which categories of the news he was watching. So this sort of information I have pulled this from internet.
Mhm.
So uh, this information is related to news data. So did you download the file?
Yes.
Okay, so to import this file in Snowflake, it's fairly easy. So you can create a table first. So if you create a table, the header should match So this header name should match with your column name.
Mm-hmm.
So once you create this table, then if you go in, let's create a table for this data. I will send you this in chat.
Yeah.
It's not necessary to include 200. Just I have read this 200. If you don't include a 200 size, then it takes a default data type. So if you don't do, okay, let's say if I do only cat, if we want to, if we do create or replace, it would create a new table with these data type. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. So if you manage to create this table, and then if you go to database test data, then you will see like by default the varchar size is this much. So this is by default the maximum size limit, I believe the Snowflake is showing. So it's a user ID. However, I have given varchar for now for all the columns. However, this columns is integer. This column is date. So right now, just simple raw to raw file. Just I wanted to import the raw file to see what's there in the file. So I haven't given any specific date format. This should be a date format, but I haven't given that. I will do that in next stage. So did you manage to create the table? Firstly you
No.
need to create a database. Create database first. So your query will be create database name, which is test, and within that you need to create a table.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I will pause our recording for now, and we
Mm-hmm.
once done we will start the recording again.
Yeah.
So here we will have a test database, test table, and then we have our load table option here. Within load table, are you able to find this load table?
Test load table. Yes.
So go to load table, and then your data warehouse
Mm-hmm.
name is compute underscore WH,
Mm-hmm.
and then choose a file. So this is your file. I think you have downloaded this file in your local machine. Then go next. Then create a file format. If you don't see a CSV file format here, go in add, and then create a CSV. Write a name as CSV, and then create a file name, file format name.
Mm-hmm.
Then we do load here.
Yeah.
Okay, so once you do load, it will take like 1 minute or so.
I got the error message.
Okay, let me see
Well,
if I don't get any error or it's the same error I'm
mhm,
getting. Not. So I didn't got any error.
mhm,
Okay, if I check the count, so it's imported successfully. So I will check yours. I will stop the recording and I will check yours.
mhm,
So we have you can see these record counts, right? It's 100,000 around record, right? This is the numbers you are also seeing, right? Okay. So agenda, we have understood what is data warehouse, why we
mhm,
need Snowflake, a bit of overview of what things we can do in Snowflake I have showed you, and we were able to successfully import CSV file in Snowflake. So now what we will see is we will see S3 access. We'll create a free AWS access.
mhm,
So go in AWS. If you type AWS cloud computing, create an account here. Uh, Create an account. So once we have an account, we will start. I'm pausing the recording. So once we
mhm,
create the account, we will restart the pausing. So we have successfully logged in AWS. So here we have IAM. If you go in the IAM role,
mhm,
if you look for IAM, if you're not able to find IAM, you can search on the top. So what does IAM does is you can create a user for you,
mhm,
and you can give that access to another people to upload the files and all, right? So if you go in users, so I have already created one user under my name. You can create your user here. You can simply go to add user, and you can create your IAM. So what happens is if you create a IAM, you will have a access key and secret key for your S3 bucket, so that you can
mhm,
integrate that with Snowflake. So that's why we need IAM role, so that you can have access to the S3 bucket. So my one was AK Chaudhary, which I have created.
mhm,
So if I look at the managed one, so here I have provided my access key and secret key here, right?
mhm,
So
yeah.
if you can, if you create a IAM, it will generate you a access key and secret key.
Mm,
I'm pausing the recording now so that we can start.
mhm,
Okay. So once we have created a IAM role, we will have access key and secret key. So if you download S3 browser, within S3 browser, once you download that, you can do add new account. So I only had two, that's why it's not free. So we can only create two accounts. So if you go in manage accounts, so I have already created one. So if you
mhm,
create, you need to give account name. So my account name is AK Chaudhary that I have created. And then we need to pass here access key and secret key. So
mhm,
once we do a save, then your S3, you will have access to this S3 bucket. And then
mhm,
you can create a new bucket here. So I have created this name, and within that you can choose and upload files, and you can upload your file here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just for now, we will upload only one file, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and then we will try to
Mm-hmm.
import that in Snowflake, okay. So
Okay.
we will not, let's delete these two files for now.
Mm-hmm.
So our task now is to import the file from S3 to Snowflake,
Mm-hmm.
okay. So that would be our homework for now. So we have access in AWS. Now for homework, what we will try to do is we will pull this file, this file
Mm-hmm.
to Snowflake, in Snowflake table, right?
Okay.
We'll import that from S3,
Mm-hmm.
import file from S3, okay, and then we will implement. So whenever we have new files, when we upload new files in S3, so
Mm-hmm.
it should automatically be loaded in the existing table. Okay, so we
Okay.
will create a snow pipe. For that, we usually use snow pipe to auto ingest data
Mm-hmm.
from S3. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so this would be your homework, to try to import one file, and if you then implement auto ingestion through snow pipe to import multiple files directly to Snowflake.
Okay.
Okay, to
Mm-hmm.
ingest all the incoming files using Snowpipe. Okay, so let's try to do these by ourselves. If not, in the next class, I will show you how to do this in Snowpipe, using Snowpipe, how to do all these things.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But let's try on our own for now, from ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Okay.
so yeah, so that's it for today's class.
Mm-hmm.
So we will continue with next class tomorrow or
Mm-hmm.
other days. I will stop my recording.